Hi.
Okay.
Hello, namaste. Welcome to Yoga from the Heart platform, where I'm trying to create a virtual space for all those beautiful, special beings who are doing things a little bit different, little bit away from the norm, following their heart and their soul, and doing something that is a betterment measure for humanity and also for the entire universe and Mother Earth. And on this platform today, I have a very, very, very special gift for all of you, a person who is an amazingly limitless, selfless, really, really compassionate, loving being. I have had an opportunity to get to know him very closely for many, many weeks, and it has been nothing but a mystical experience to have encountered Himalayan Kriya Mahayogi Dr. Pradeep Ullah. Welcome to my show, Dr. Pradeep Ullah. I'm very, very honored to do this interview with you.
Yes, honored to be on this channel with you. I've spent some amazing moments with your family and in US, and I have been part of this wonderful sharing that we have been doing. So it's an honor to be connected with you and all the people who are watching us right now.
Yes, before I know a lot of our friends and Soul family will be watching it, but for those who don't know you, I would like to do a little introduction. When I started writing about what to say about you, there was so much. A page was getting filled, so I won't go into all that. But I would like to say that you are a Himalayan Kriya Yoga master, which is one of the very, very ancient and sacred forms of yoga. You also have a foundation called Kevala Foundation, where you have created
Yes.
a beautiful retreat and a cosmic forest, which I myself had an opportunity to visit. And what an amazing experience it was. You're also an author of the book that we are going to launch today and talk about music, music, the divine ecstasy. And you also are an energy healer, an encyclopedia of ancient wisdom and knowledge that I myself have personally experienced pour through you without you doing any efforts to talk about a subject or topic. So I have seen you in that live form. So I'm very excited. To start, my first question about this book, which I enjoyed thoroughly reading it in 10 days, which was a really intensive thing to do. I will definitely read it again to absorb it properly. But my first question would be, what made you write this book?
Okay. It may sound very strange that I was born in a musical family, and for some strange reason, I've it something did not click inside me. So I've always been feeling lesser that I'm not a musician, and but I wanted to contribute to music in some way. I don't know what way. In so then slowly and slowly, I started gathering music. Then the music, the collection started swelling. It became a huge library. Then I got hold of music systems, fabulous sounds, and then I gathered people and I said, look, listen to this fabulous sound, listen to this amazing possibilities. Then I started experimenting with them. When I started experimenting with them, then I realized, hey, they are getting into a trance just by listening to this music. So it's not about me, it's about serving, it's about giving. So I decided that I've got to share this powerful knowledge and music that is passing through. In what way? Then I started realizing that there's a huge gap between the pure music that is available on this planet versus what is there in the mainstream. And people were not even having that understanding what to check in, what to do. But there was a lot of gaps in the understanding. And I met so many musicians, we conducted so many music festivals in Kevala. So it became like a huge wave. But now there was no depth of understanding of how to make it available for a common man who say somebody walks into your place and says how to absorb this music. Most people forgot how to listen to music, how to absorb music. So I just one day I just decided on the dining table, I was sitting there with my friends. I said I'll write a blog on music. It was just one pager, just one pager.
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything much, so I don't. So I said I can't write more than one page. I wrote one page and I left it. After a few days, I thought, no, this is not enough. Let me write few more pages. After several weeks, I had written 8 pages. Then one day, and I said, this deserves to be a book. When I decided that, then I said, I don't know anything. Where do I start? So I started reading some few books on music, and then I realized I don't know anything because it's such a huge topic,
Yes.
and it is, I'm not being a musician is a huge minus point. So I said I'm not going to talk about the technical ragas, which is not my strength, but I'm going to help people understand how to absorb music so
Mm.
that the same raga, the same qualitative state can be expressed to them, and they can have what is important here is many musicians came to me. Then I said, how is it possible that you are experiencing this state which we are trying to achieve through music? So
Yeah.
you getting me?
Yes.
So here it is that what is the ultimate finally that we need to celebrate and liberate, and music is one of the strongest tools. When I integral part of all our kriya has been music. The whole highlight of this is you experience a huge powerful shift in your body, so that at the end of the session we that music will make you dance, the kundalini dance inside you. So that means, what is this possibility? How is it unwrapping, unraveling? So there was a mystical aspect of this which has not been revealed. There are so many people who say, okay, just listen. Most people go to sleep. They're not listening. They are using music as a background noise or as a tool to go to sleep. I said, no, music is not just entertainment, it is entrainment. So I said, okay, let me write about how to entrain the brain, how to make and what the quality of sound should be, what should be the quality of your environment, your body. Your body is the playground for the music. So let you making your body the playground come alive. So
Yes.
that means there is a huge possibility which unfurled, and that's how the music story happened.
Yes, how wonderful. And I didn't realize till yesterday that today happens to be actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
In some part of the world, today, tomorrow, it's World Music Day, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
when you and I were talking about doing this interview, we had no idea of, that we will land up on a weekend where the whole world is celebrating music. So how divine timing it is. And that's just wonderful. And also happens to be a yoga international
Yes,
weekend, which is so close to my heart and your heart too. So
yes,
really,
yes,
really
yes.
honored
Absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's such a brilliant opportunity. Probably one of the most important days of our life is 21st June. Happens to be the longest day, solar eclipse, then a Yoga International Day, Music Day, and Father's Day. So I think there can't be a better occasion than 21st June.
Yes.
So I just said, okay, what else is possible? So I said, okay, let's not just talk music. So I called up 5 of my friends and I said, okay, you come out to our place. We'll do a live music jamming. So we will share this celebration with people, because I think the music that the people who come to Kevala as a musician, as a listener, as a practitioner, their lives have changed
Yeah.
dramatically. Whoever has been close to the heart, and they have a certain loyalty towards music now,
Yes.
and the way they look at music, hear music, it's not the same.
I
So
am one of them.
yes, so let us make sure that we can contribute back. What we say is the whole universe is already a music flowing through somewhere. Some of us are not aware of it, so we need actual music to be played for us. In sense, see the rustling of the leaves, the blow of the wind, the the songs of the bird, the waves of the
Ocean.
the what ocean,
Rain
everything is
shower.
already music. It's
Yeah.
already music. So we
Yeah.
have forgotten. We think, why there is noise? There is noise because we have not tuned in. So if make this opportunity to tune in, and that's what will make your life phenomenal celebration. And I have seen it happening in my life, where I've seen people who are disturbed, who are upset, and with the qualitative music that is there in Kevala, within a matter of a day, their life has changed for good. They
Yes.
are now desperate for better music, and it happens that I share with them. So all the collection I have is not for my there is no my concept here. It is for public sharing, and it is a it's completely, all the friends that I have ever visited Kerala have gone back with at least 2,000 files of music.
Yes, yes. So my next question to you would be, you kind of explained to it, what can music do to us? So you said that it's not for just entertainment, it's for entrainment.
Yes,
And
entrainment.
tell us, our audience, a little bit more about what do you feel when we are listening to good music?
Okay, let me start. I'll give you two beautiful examples, so that earlier, when I was still exploring about this music, I didn't know how to absorb it. So one day I was standing in front of an exotic music system. It was like a 1 million uh, dirham worth of equipment. And I sat there. I said, "What is so special about it?" When this man who was previewing the music for me raised in the volume, I felt a huge wave from the tip of the toe rising through me, dancing in huge wave, and it stood like a huge seven hooded cobra on top of me, like a Adi Sesha, and it was a huge dance of energy. I said, "This is how music is should be. This is how sound should be." It was a huge shift. They said, "This is what actually happens," and what we are doing. People are just listening to some music and still doing some other work. Music is an engagement, involvement, immersion. Yes.
Yes.
If it is so how can we just brush it aside and say, okay, most people I see, they have earpod in their ears and they're doing something else, but it is not penetrating them.
Yes.
So, and then I have given a second example. I was attending a wedding in Mumbai in the year 2007, I think. Okay, and the year 2007, and we were standing in absolutely drunken atmosphere. People were celebrating. They were having a huge feast, and one lady, a young girl from Canada, just walked into this place, and she stood there in front of us. It was completely sloshed crowd. Nobody knew what was happening. This girl started singing uh, aria song, and the minute she started singing, I stood there in front of her. I could feel the whole Kundalini alive and dancing. That probably the girl didn't even realize what was happening to this body. That means the body was actually dancing. The Kundalini was dancing to the powerful, just a simple voice. There was no music, just as a 15-year-old girl singing the song. And then the magic was happening. For 3 hours, the Kundalini was dancing on top of the head. How could you explain this? I looked around. I didn't see the same effect of people there. So that means we have to train our instrument to access the real power of music.
Right.
What does it take? Now is the question.
Yeah.
So I've given you the dangling possibility that this is possible. Yes, if
Yeah.
this is possible, what are we supposed to do? Who wants to live on a 1.5 cell old battery in your body? Don't you want a full on power? Don't you want to experience something, the true essence of it? It's like a, when you tune into, yeah, you go to a movie hall, a Dolby Atmos, setup is there. It gives you a thrill because the sounds are emerging from everywhere. This is how the music is. Our see the I will give an example to you. Our ear, you see the inner ear, the design of the inner ear is, it is at 73 degrees 46 minutes. 73 degrees 46 minute is the alignment of the inner ear, like this. And there is a inner auditory cortex which is supposed to gather this information. That means it's like an antenna. There are two here antennas here. They're grasping, but that is still only sound. They're not at music. Music happens when the pre-auditory cortex here grasps it and puts it into the center of your brain, there is something called as thalamus. The thalamus is an organ which converts your audio information into something uh, understandable.
Hmm.
Till then, it is not music, it is only sounds. Who will understand what is the sound? There is a rhythm to it, there is a meter to it, there is a melody to it, there is a scale to it, there is a pitch, there is a tone, there is a timbre. Everything is decoded by the thalamus. And
Yeah.
then there is something called nucleus pons in your limbic system. So they are like vibrators. They give a certain uh, caliber to understanding how to decode music.
Hmm.
So the music should finally hit your hippocampus and convert it into a actually an emotion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to register on you. So
Yeah.
that means the amygdala is an important tool in the instrument which converts a thought into an emotion. Now, emotion into memory. See this sound, okay? Just sound.
Hmm.
Sound becomes a particular information. The information is converted into emotion, emotion into memory, and memory into a powerful bliss wave.
So
So the huge,
sometimes, like how you said, it moves into emotion. Sometimes what I have experienced is when I'm completely immersed in a beautiful mantra
yes,
or a chant or something,
yes,
the
yes,
tears just roll. I mean, is that
yes.
what you are talking about?
See, it's like this. There are bhava. Bhava means a state which can lead you to a movement inside you.
Hmm.
Okay, an energy in motion. So now, what motion? So what is the emotion required for it? So some say I'm moved by the music. So what happened? Basically, it resides in your heart center. It resonates there. So
Yes.
you feel the music. Until then, you were listening. Now you started feeling.
Yes.
Till then, it was not a feeling.
Yes.
People say, I'm hearing music. If you're hearing music, it has not permeated you. If
Yes.
you are able to feel it, so that means you're not started absorbing it. What happens? A
Yes.
sacred dance of energy happens. And
Hmm.
the tears are for the very experience of that feeling of connectedness, of that music is the fastest way to remember the divine. It
Yes.
can't be anything, it can't get any better than this. And
Yes.
people think, oh, I feel good. Yes, feel good is not, see, it's like a, you have a whole night party. The morning you wake up, you don't remember a single track because it was just momentary. But there
Yes.
are certain music which will make you help you remember the divine, and
Yes.
those will remain become a red memory in your hippocampus. Because you'll remember the moment that was happening to you. Till
Yes.
then, it was not a moment. Till then,
Yes.
it was just random. It was like flipping files. You're
Yes.
flipping files. They're all just moving in front of you, but they're not able to impress upon us. So
Yes.
once it impresses upon you, then you can feel the dramatic shift in your feelings, in your ability to expand. The music is like a, it's influencing your. There is something called acetylcholine. There is a chemical called acetylcholine. If that acetylcholine does not activate, you cannot listen. So people who have got say attention deficit disorder, they cannot able to spend even a moment in absorption. That means there needs to be a chemical shift. There needs to be a actually some people are deceived by this, that they're not able to feel music because it is, when you have stress, when you are wandering, when you are shifting between different neuron gateways. So the brain needs to come into the center. You see this center, this is the shape of that. You are in the center like a groove, and you are in that zone. Then
Hmm.
you are entraining the brain to come into the mid explosiveness. So that
Hmm.
means you are no longer just hearing or listening. Then you started feeling the powerful absorption. Your whole body, I will tell you the example between where melody is, where rhythm is. Rhythm is in the back of the head. Okay, if you start hearing a drum beat, it will start hitting your medulla.
Hmm.
When you hit your medulla, it regulates the heartbeat. So what is intelligent musicians do, They look at your heartbeat. Say 72 is the heartbeat of average human. The music that you hear in trance is 140 beats per minute. So they now training your brain to do a double skip. So what happens? You are increasing the tempo of your heart rate. You are
I
feeling the yes, yes. So that means that actually it's a very intelligent way that trying to train your brain to connect to the heart and upscale. So you start feeling the rhythmic flow inside you, and
yeah.
then what happens? There is a current flowing from the neuromuscular energy. Your feet start moving
Yes.
naturally, it starts to feel the movement.
Yes.
So that means the brain has sent a signal to the legs and say, okay, now it's time for you to move. You cannot sit. Those who have dance flowing through them, they cannot sit and absorb dance music. They have to move.
That's me.
Yes. Yes, I know that. So uh, this is the power of entrainment. So music is not just a discovery or an accident. It is our origin, it is our source, and our bridge, our catalyst, our phenomenal what you can say, the magnificence of the cosmos is embedded inside us in our DNA. The whole dance of the DNA is itself a music. It can't get better. So entrain. Let us
Yeah.
entrain. So we do something called as the music preview or appreciation. So we train people how to. It may sound very silly or funny. Why do you need to train people to listen to music? Why do you need to train? We all don't we all come endowed with the necessary chemicals, with all this? Yes, it is all there, but it is dormant. It
Yeah.
needs to be trained. That's what is entrainment.
Nice. Nice. Beautifully explained. And my next question is, how does one attain a state of absorption? What can we do to attain that level?
Uh, Simple as we can imagine, attainment is actually misunderstood. For an instrument, say for instance, a design. The design has a certain characteristic. The characteristic of the design is when music has been embedded already in the very core of the design. That means I'll give an example to you. There are two instances. One, the Divine Mother, Vagdevi, sang such a beautiful melody that the universe started shaping on its own into polymorphic image.
Hmm.
It started happening. The Divine Mother sang, the whole universe, she sang and make it happen. It cannot be a joke or a mythology, because I feel that how is it possible that you connect to the source through music? So that means the very design is music. So now, if the very design is music, the whole body has formed out of the very process of making music. The whole body is designed from it. You, how dare we can deviate from it? So that means it's not too far. It's not too far fetched. Where are we? That the absorption was our endowment. It is already meant to be. It's like saying, are you going to teach a flower how to flower?
Hmm.
Don't come in the way.
Yeah.
Don't try to make the bud into a flower. The minute you say, I'm going to make a bud into a flower, what will happen? See, some buds will take longer to bloom. Some buds will take faster to bloom. It is a matter of inspiration. It's a matter of nature. So inside us, some people have a certain emotion. Some people have stress. Some people have fear. Some people have anger. So every person is unique. How to absorb? See, for instance, there was a nice old saying that when you are sad, you understand the lyrics. When you are happy, you enjoy the music. So that means, so basically, what are we looking for? The words are meant to make sense only when you are down. That means we are feeling the emotion. Still we cannot feel for the other. We can't feel the heart. We
Yes.
can feel the heart only when you can feel for the other. So music is not about okay, I feel good. It's about ability to feel the essence of the lyricist, essence of the musician, essence of those beautiful people who recorded it. So
Yeah.
what happens? You go into finer details. Absorption is about finest details. Godliness is in the finest details. It is not in random or vague. okay, many people skip through music as if it was just there, meant to be a flippant. Nowadays, everybody has got access to lots of music. We came from a time when buying one cassette tape, one CD was the event of the month.
I know.
So, so now we have too much. Since we have too much,
Yes.
we are careless. We are
Yeah. Don't
careless,
value it.
and we don't value it. So, say for instance, if there are say 2,000 songs made in 1 year, probably a handful of them are repeat worthy, absorb worthy. So when you are capable of accessing that level of music, you don't have to do anything. Just surrender. When you surrender, you are not coming in the way. When you're not coming in the way, you're absorbing.
Okay. Okay. How beautiful. And you talk about in the book something called sonic purity. What is
Yes.
sonic purity?
Okay. This whole cosmos is talking to us. You know what is the language called? It's called holophony. Holographic image in the phonetics language. It is a, it is actually sound and light are not different. We should be able to tune in. So what was your question?
Sonic purity.
Sonic purity. I will come back to your. So sonic purity means, for instance, you hear a particular sound. Now, how will the sound impress you? It will only impress you when your entire sensory instrument feels it is important. Yes,
Yeah.
till it is considered important for you, it will bypass you. It will just filter out of your system.
Yes.
Yes, it will just go past you. That's what people say, let me hear you out. Hear out. So we are out of so we are not getting, you know why? Because I'll tell you, some of the most important people on this planet, they have mastered the art of vak. This is called the vak. Now they talk to you in a language which is very impressive, engaging. Okay, now why? The more purer you become, more accurate you become in the precision of your voice will permeate, your voice will penetrate.
Yes.
And all those phenomenal singers like Shreya Ghoshal and Shweta Pandit, they have hit a pinnacle of going to the purest trend. I will give an example to you. Many years ago, I heard about what makes Lata Mangeshkar. The state is called Sauswaryam. Sauswaryam means highest tonal purity ever achieved on human scale.
Hmm.
Now, what is the difference? It's like, see, if you have a rain of cosmic strands, if you sometimes go to a mall, you see those water thin
Yeah.
streams.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, if there are, say, 1,000 streams falling, the finest strand of it, if you can catch, you get to the essence of a laser beam like thing passing through you.
Hmm.
Okay. Music is the finest strand. And out of that finest strand, tonal purity is the most grandest remembrance that can penetrate through you. So, as you go closer and closer to the micro strands, that is called Shruti.
Hmm.
Shruti is the micro strands. So, in that micro strands, if the singer has hit that micro strand in a powerful way, it will pull a chord in you. When he pulls the chord in you, you feel like a whole cosmos dancing inside you. It is like a harbinger of power. It is like, say, if your mother calls you, if your biological mother calls you, whatever you're doing, suddenly your alarm bell rings in your head. It's my mother. It's recognition, right? So sonic purity is the remembrance of the divine calling you.
Oh.
It calls you.
Yeah.
It says, "Come. Where are you?
Mm-hmm. And
How
how
can you miss it?"
and how do you, so that comes with absorption. Once you learn how to absorb music, then comes the sonic
Yes,
purity.
it comes, it slowly refines. It's a process of refinement. It is not one-time activity. Some gifted cosmic beings, Gandharvas, descend on this planet, and then they already embedded inside it. While
Mhm.
mere mortals have to go through a process of purification to access Sauswaryam, the sonic purity.
Hmm. And it doesn't have to be that you have to be a singer. Even a listener can have the sonic purity, right?
My example.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
when
a
you chant,
music.
your chants are so mesmerizing, and so you are a singer in a way, not a.
Uh, so I think, you know what? I have been a musician in my past journeys. In this lifetime, I was clean slated, rubbed off all that, and I said, okay, now start doing Nada yoga, so that you can access the Sahasrara Koti Koti Nada Pravaham. That means the cosmos is passed talking through this body in a sacred language of hymns, in calibrated music. So it is now passing through. So many ragas pass through this body. I have no clue of the technicality. I sometimes try to sound it, but I'm not able to get to the depth of the transmission passing. So I'm just able to touch. So I read a phenomenal musician saying the statement: if you get 1% of the actual cosmic transmission that is influencing the music, that's good enough for this planet.
You're getting 1%.
Yes, just 1%. 1% is good enough.
It's an honor to be in your presence and to listen to all this. My next question is, how music helps us heal.
Okay. First and foremost, we have to understand what healing is. I did a lot of study on this because I saw musicians themselves being sick. And I said, oh, these are classical musicians who are 20, 30 years in music. Then it became clear it is not just the music, there is something beyond it. Music is important, no doubt. All the classical ragas, each raga has a certain calibration, certain bandwidth, certain frequencies, certain. So, if all of them have a certain frequencies and thing, what is not healing? So, this took me into deeper understanding that we need to calibrate this instrument with yoga
Hmm.
so that music can heal us.
Yes.
So, you cannot see the difference. So people say, okay, only music. If a person with a heavy duty gastric issues, with a heavy duty, acidity, reflux, is sitting there to listen music, the first thing that will happen is he will drift into deep restive sleep. So because the body is demanding, the battery switch off happens. So basically, he's not listening. He's switching off because body says you're not ready yet. You cannot listen. You have to first go into restive. So most people derive healing through rest. Remember this: if you go to hospitals, they'll put you sedatives so that you can deep rest. So real healing happens in delta 5 stage. In delta 5 stage of the brain, the real zero field energy will grip you. That's when healing can take shape. Now the concern here is, how do you enter that state while listening to music?
Mm.
You getting me? This is
Yes.
very deep seated. It is not so
Yes.
superficial. I will give an example to you. One day I was sitting in Dubai, and we were living in Dubai earlier. Okay, and the music was blasting from the speakers. I had a very sacred room full of high definition sound. Oh, my family left for a party. I said, I'm not coming. I'm going to sit here. I was sitting there because I can play music loud. Nobody's there. It was my celebration time, my private time. I turned on the music to the max I could take it, and I sat on the sofa. As I was listening to music, suddenly the body switched off. For almost 1 hour, I couldn't hear a single sound. Complete zero.
Oh.
After 1 hour, as if landed back on this planet. When I heard a thud inside, the music was playing. The music was still playing. I had not even tampered with it. The same sound was playing. That means it's called time warp. So, in
Wow.
that 1 hour, music that was permitted took this body into samadhi. That is power of music.
Yes.
And it switched off to that moment. So it healed the body, refreshed it, and brought it back. It may sound very mystical, but remember this: music has the power to bring us into delta 5 stage and take us into the profound healing. The real healing happens not because you're technically brilliant or trying to follow music with all the nuances. Then you are knowing, you're nodding your head, yeah, yeah, yeah. It may give you an ego thrill that I know this music, I can read this music, but it will not heal you, because there's still logic involved. You have to break the logic and surrender like a baby, and that's when the Delta 5 stage will happen to you.
Wow. Wow. And that's why I think a lot of nowadays, these sound healings and bowls, singing bowls, Tibetan bowls, they're all being used in a lot of healing processes.
You know, I will tell you something. There was to be a phenomenal musician in India called Baba Alauddin Khan.
Hmm.
Now, Baba could play 200 instruments. How many? 200 instruments. If the depth of Indian music is so phenomenal, there is music for every timbre, every range of emotions. It's
Yeah.
everything. If you go to Kerala, there are drums, different types of drums. For they play you. Each drum has a calibration. Each the cymbal has a calibration. The There is the kind of instruments which are available. I'll give an example. R.D. Burman, the great phenomenal music director, was one of the most complete musicians because he's one of the only musician who used all kinds of instruments, including tribal, including Pahadis, including African, Latino, you name it. He used everything and in one track. Can you believe it? So the kind of healing that can happen is, it's like a huge orchestra in your head. Say 80 musicians are playing for you. The sound is incredible. He would integrate it. So when you look at all this Tibetan sound bells and everything, I'm not saying it is bad or good. I'm just saying it is still elementary. It's
Hmm.
still you are still playing around with a certain baby steps. It is
Yeah.
important. I say it is important to start
Yeah.
with. You start with the singing bell, and
Yeah.
then you start chanting. Then you started realizing that there is a bigger bandwidth.
Hmm.
Why miss it out?
Yes.
Why should we miss out when there is, when you see, imagine, I'll tell you an example. Okay, I was sitting next to a flutist in Rajasthan, in a beautiful resort.
Hmm.
There were 300 people passing through that corridor. Nobody even sat there. They were busy wanting to eat food. It was breakfast time. And in that long corridor, this beautiful guy, was sitting there and playing flute. I couldn't resist it. I went and sat next to him. You know what happened? He was playing music. The flute was passing through the brain and dancing. Crazy dancing, shifting the whole brain with the winds. Flute has the only potential to create winds through the neuron gateways. It is like a powerful vacuum passing through you and resetting the brain. I thanked him profusely. You know what he said? After you came and sat next to me, my music changed.
Hmm.
So for every music, there has to be a listener. For every listener, there has to be a music. So there is a communion of the musician and the listener. So there is a chemistry. There is a conscious awareness, watching, witnessing. It changes the music.
Hmm.
So great masters like Bismillah Khan, when they played in music for in the inside a temple, the Lord jumped out of the idol and started saying, "Play, my boy, play." So that is power of listening. That is, even the gods are keen to watch a musician rise to that level, to
Yeah.
witness it. Krishna has made a given darshana to our Bismillah Khan.
Yes.
So if Krishna can walk on this planet and come in and give you darshana and play for you, it means what an amazing journey we are capable of accessing.
Yes, very true. Very true. And your book is full of such wonderful stories, your own personal, and you have done an amazing job of highlighting such stories from all musicians, all these legendary artists who have lived and are still living. And I think it's an unfortunate thing that as a society, we have lost that. I remember as a kid, I used to listen to, not myself, but radio will play every now and then, or the music that will play on TV, some ragas will come or something. And I don't think any of the very few channels or very few, we have not like, we don't have that kind of passion for that classical music, that true soulful music anymore.
I will tell you how it changed my life. I was exploring music like crazy in my teens. My father used to come and say, "What kind of crap music are you listening? It doesn't make sense." Because for a classical musician,
Yes.
All this was noise to him. I
Yes.
said, wait, Papa, I'm exploring. Okay. And then one day, how this whole shift happened, I will tell you. The television was on, and the chant of Om Namah Shiva started. It was a Himalayan, somewhere they were showing Himalayas, and one person was chanting Om Namah Shiva. I cried a bucket. It is impossible to stop these tears. What is this? What am I dealing with? Why can't other music make me feel like this?
Hmm.
How? What is this? Immediately, the inner voice said, switch back to your origin.
Hmm.
So music is not necessarily that you have to have hundreds of skills, hundreds of instruments. Even one melody, one hymn, one chant can resurrect you back to your origin. It took me just one chant and my life changed. I said, how I had ignored all this. I was exploring everything else. And that one chant brought me back and said, you, this is where you belong.
Nice, nice. And you have gone through the whole paradigm of education, corporate world, and and then going to Himalayas and doing all the tapasya that you did. We are very,
Yes.
very fortunate and blessed.
See, all of us are capable of exploring. Exploration is not our hindrance. Our struggle here is we have preconditions how it should be. If
Yes,
you become a wild spirit, if you are not bothered who is watching you, measuring you, comparing you, and what you have to be, we are unique beings.
yes,
Why are we scared of being unique? Nobody is going to put a gun on your head for being unique. But
yes,
the problem here is we have become typecast, molded, assembly line product. Now education has made us assembly line product. They will expect you to have a certain language, certain mannerisms, certain dressing style, certain terminologies, and what you listen, what you will hear, everything is already predictated to a
mm,
point where you are basically already tuned into a certain pattern, and to break that you need courage.
yes,
Even in the music, most people listen to whatever music they've been listening all their lives. They don't want to make a shift, and it says it reflects in their boredom. When you look at people's eyes, you can tell if they are really switched on or not.
yes.
Actually, I do a lot of experimentation on people without telling them. I turn on music and I watch, you know, from the corner of my eye, and see what happens to them. Most people don't even know the music has changed or something is happening to them. Some people are alert, they are super aware. They say, yes, I can feel it. You can't hide it when you feel it. It's a romance of life.
Yes,
You see, it's like a beautiful person walks in front of you, suddenly you drop what you were doing. how
yes,
can you how can you even do what you're doing? Suddenly your whole beingness comes alive.
yes,
You cannot hold it. And
yes,
that's what beauty of music. It is a divine messenger. How could you ignore it? How
yes.
dare we ignore it?
Yes, yes. And I like how you beautifully say the first music we hear is in our mother womb through her heartbeat. And
Yes,
then
yes,
as
yes.
we grow earlier years, the parents are singing lullabies to you. So music is really, given to us as a gift without us even knowing. Every child sort of gets it.
Yes,
And then the birds
yes,
are chirping and all these natural musics. And then as we grow, we kind of fall away from it sometimes. Who would you recommend this book for? I mean, I personally feel everyone should read it, but what is your suggestion? Like, when do you think the
okay.
person is ready to absorb the book?
Even while writing this book, I was very zapped with what is possible. I didn't know whom I was writing for, honestly, because I was not. First, I thought I'm writing for this self, that because I wanted to explore. I became an explorer. I was writing continuously, researching. I felt good that a certain part of it which was not expressed was coming together, integrating.
Mhm.
See, then I gave this book to my friend, who is my childhood friend. I said, now you dissect this book from your angle. You edit it. You take it. I was bombarded with all kinds of questions about the stance of this, because I wanted to look at it from a common man's angle,
Yes.
not from somebody who's already a musician and then he will give me Vishesh Tippani or expert comments. Okay, so I said, okay, let me hear it from somebody who is a novice in this area. So it was not just for the language, but for getting a perspective of what is this. Who should read it? First and foremost, it is impossible to ignore music on this planet while you're here. But while you are here, why should you take the long curve? Do you have the time to have 100 lifetimes in one journey? No. Since you have only one body, one journey at this point, you need to accelerate
Yes.
the possibilities, get the results. If you want results, why do you have to reinvent the wheel? Somebody has done some hard work. Somebody has figured out that if you do this kriya on this body, and if you absorb this music, it can make a huge shift. So
Yes.
why struggle?
Yes.
I'm making it easy. I'm giving it to you in easy format, so that all you have to do is switch on.
Yes.
That is your inner thing. I cannot switch somebody on.
Yes.
I can only suggest. This
Yes.
book is a suggestion for you to switch on.
Yes. Yes.
This book is a,
Responsibility.
yeah, it is your everybody's responsibility. How can I say I will change you, I will teach you? No, nobody. You cannot teach anybody. You cannot change anybody. The change comes from inside you. It
Yes.
happens. You don't know what passage will help you. You don't know what text will hit you. You don't know what music will impress you. You don't know. So all I'm saying is, don't come with preconceived notion. Keep yourself open. When you're open, change is possible.
Yes.
A transformation is possible, but we don't know how, when, where. It's not preconceived.
Yes.
So this music ushers people in different stages of life. Some people may be audio engineers, some people may be musicians, some people may be just a yoga practitioner, or some people may be interested in Nada Yoga. Some people are interested in Bhakti Marga. They want to know which chant can help them. Some people just want to know how to access ecstasy. I don't care how it happens. I don't want to know any technical details. Tell me how it happens.
Yes.
How feel. So I just, this book is like a holding a pass, golden pass. You come and sit in the front. If you're sitting in the front row, your favorite musician comes and puts the mic in front of you and sings for you. You go burst with excitement. Yes or no?
Yes.
So I'm giving you a golden pass to come and sit in the front seat and experience the grand live orchestra playing inside you.
Yes. Yes. It's beautiful, really beautiful. And I know that the book is available in India right now, but not in the US.
Yes,
What are your plans of?
it will be very soon. It is coming on Amazon Kindle. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
it will be coming on that. I've told my publisher to, he's working on it.
Okay.
So important aspect of this, don't treat it just like any other book or looking for entertainment, looking for nice passages of
Trust
fun.
me, you can read it that way too. Every time I read, like after a few pages, I had to close the book and just sit and absorb. It was like so
Yes.
much information in that book that you can't just.
Trust me, what I have gone through, writing this book,
Yes.
I felt like a child lost in the jungle. There were, which sound you're going to listen to, where you're going to listen to. It's like it baffles, because I thought I will write this book, as fast as possible. Impossible. I just quit writing and I said, I don't know anything. I'll come back to you. The book called me. Book called and said, okay, start writing now. So it took me a journey. It is not, it's not something which came just one flow. It is when we go through an experience. I went through so many different learnings so that I could do justice to. Then I reorganized it, made it into a format which is now, there is a research element. Do not escape it.
Yes.
All of us have to be researchers. If you're not a researcher, why would this book make any sense to you?
Yes.
If you want to just put your headsets on and imagine it's going to happen just night, it's not going to happen. It takes effort. It takes a tremendous courage to actually pick a book and be it.
Yes.
You are living a journey. You're living a phenomenal science. The science is not going to bend. See, it's like saying the river will not fall in your mouth, even if you sing day and night praises. The river says, bend down, my dear, bow down, pick it, drink it. So this book is a river. You need to bend down, take your hand, put your hand inside the river, gulp it down in gratitude, then it'll make sense.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much. And another thing I would like is, I know I have been exposed to the beautiful music you have, and I would love for you to some way bring it to everyone. Like do something so we can all share and listen to the wonderful encyclopedia of amazing music that you share with all of us.
Sorry, what? Can you repeat the last part? I missed out.
No, I just wanted to say that are you planning to share the music that you have on some
Yes,
platform?
there is no choice but to see. It's like this. When you go to a collector, now the if you go to a museum collector, he cannot part away with his collection
Yes.
because it is keepsake. He
Yeah.
wants to people to come. Music is not something which is kept in one place and you say only this. So without any commercial angle or interest in this, all it's important here is it took me so many years and years and years of effort. Nothing comes easy. When
Yes.
I have put my life into this 36 years of collection, so now when I feel that this is not it, so there is more to it. So every time you come to me, I'm going to flush you with so much music which will change your perspective of what romance of life is.
Yes.
Life is a romance. It
It is.
has to be, you have to access that romance by freshness, a
Yes.
mountain freshness. When
Yes.
you go to a mountain, the mountain will not keep on showing you the same view every day. It will
Yes.
give you a different view. Music has to be mountain fresh, with a extraordinary canvas painted every day fresh, and make you feel like a child in the magnanimity.
Nice. Nice. Thank you so much for being on the
Most
show.
welcome.
And it was really an honor and a pleasure to do this, to read this book, to talk to you on this platform. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure any questions that we have here, we'll be happy to answer them later in our comments.
Yes, yes. Whenever I'm not able to see the live feed as it in the Facebook that you have shared.
Yeah, I don't know. This is my first time using
Yes,
it on, so but I do see live feed. But I would love for the time preference, I would love to do the answers later on. And I want to do
yes,
another show with you on Nada Yoga. I really want people to be
yes,
understanding
yes,
the deep sense of what that music is all about.
yes. Of course, we all need to experience the purity of Nada Yoga. It is a vibrant reminder of the divine. It's impossible to ignore Nada Yoga if you're on this planet. It has to make sense.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you, Priti. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Have a
you. Thank
wonderful
you so
weekend.
much.
Sure.
Take care. All the best.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.